Yes, people, welcome back to another stream as we take a look at the preseason fixtures, see who we're playing, and sort of try and understand City's route into the first Premier League game, and discussing why, in my view, this is Manchester City's most important pre-season ever. And there's very, very logical explanation behind that. Before we get into it, as always, guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. And if you want to help support the channel, you can become a YouTube channel member. The link is in the description and pinned comment. Get on that and help support the channel grow. But yeah, I mean, these are the teams that we're playing. Yokohama, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, and Arsenal. Arsenal, obviously, a little bit more important. It's a Community Shield, but you know, some people consider it a friendly, some people consider it semi-competitive, and some people consider it fully competitive. But the first game is this Sunday. It's at 11 o'clock UK time over in Japan against Yokohama, another CFG team. Where do we see this one, bro? You know, are we bothered about the result? Is it just fitness? What should we be looking for?
I'm not too bothered about the result, I don't think. I think it is purely just fitness. You got to use these games to get minutes in the late, shake off some of that rust, get some of the tactics in order, maybe give some young lads a run out. I think it's just an exciting time, preseason. I really enjoy preseason because you get to look and try new things, and might see some of the younger players. Like I said, McAtee. Hopefully, we're going to look at him. Kovacic, we're going to look at him. But no, I mean, why would we be asked about the results? Why would we be asked about the result, man? But you're about to tell me, I suppose. You said the most important preseason
Well,
ever.
I think it is the most preseason ever, the most important preseason ever. And the reason I say that is City tend to get off to not the best of starts before December. Sometimes our actual start is okay, but we sort of like drop points, silly points up until December, and then we come back from December and sort of March time, April, March time, we start to go full throttle. The difference is this year we've got that what's it called, Club World Cup, and we go to Saudi Arabia for 10 days. So we won't play a Premier League game probably for around 2 weeks. And it's in a very busy part of the year. And I remember from seeing, I think Chelsea and Liverpool, that you end up having like 3 or 4 games in hand because you miss games because you're at the Club World Cup. Now, you do have games in hand, so it's not like you've just lost the points. But what I don't think you want to be doing, in my view, is going to the Club World Cup 7 or 8 or maybe 9 points behind the leader because you've had a bit of a slow start, and then coming back and not only being 9 points, maybe a few more points behind, having like catch-up games where you going into them games and you simply must win because otherwise like the league could be done because you're so far behind because obviously you had a poor start and obviously you've missed games because you've been in the Club World Cup. So I think that whilst usually it's okay, I do think that this is a really, really important preseason. Last year's preseason was a bit of a joke, to be honest with you. I think we had 2 games, and one of them was like just a failure. The game against Bayern Munich where the thunderstorm and that interrupted the game. This year we've added, obviously we're playing 4 matches if you include the Arsenal game as a preseason game, so it's a little bit better. And hopefully we don't have weather interrupting our games. But I do think it's really, really important that City get off to a good start because when you go into that Club World Cup, you don't want to be having loads of games in hand and being behind because when you come back, that's just going to pile pressure on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. It's probably the first normal or full preseason we've had in a couple of years. I think the last few preseasons have either been interrupted or half a preseason or lacking preseason. I remember even the COVID kind of year there was a mess there. So to just have a full preseason campaign is good. But I remember, last year Arsenal had 7 preseason games, I think it was, and they won all 7. They started off the league to a flyer.
Yeah.
And they kind of kept the momentum going and it worked for them. But I don't think Pep would be too worried about, smashing them out now in the next couple of weeks and starting off the Premier League all guns blazing. We always speak about how Pep is great at peaking at the right time, which is, March, April, May. So he'll be conscious of burnout because we're playing in more competitions than we're used to. Like this is a unique season for us anyway that we're about to have. We have not had these competitions. We've not had the UEFA Super Cup. We've not had the Club World Cup thrown in there on top of everything else we're fighting for. So I think it's just balance and managing the minutes correctly. Trying out new things obviously is good, but I'm not stressing. I think it's just good that we have these games. Players will get to shake off some rust.
I agree. Let's take a look at the squad that has travelled. So City have taken a 25-man squad to pre-season. Ortega, Edison, Carson, Kyle Walker, Diaz, Stones, Ake, Cancelo has travelled. Laporte is there as well. Gomez, Akanji, Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips, a new signing Kovacic is there with Rodri, De Bruyne. Bernardo Silva has also travelled. Perone has also travelled with McAtee there as well. Haaland, Grealish, Alvarez, Phil Foden, and then Oscar Bob and Cole Palmer. So there is a little bit of a mix in there. Maybe some surprises. There was a lot of links with Perone potentially going to Girona. So maybe some surprise there. Obviously, Bernardo has travelled. That's obviously great news. Cancelo with the squad as well. We will do a video on that at some point. But what do we think for the first game? Are we expecting to see the likes of Bob, the likes of Cole Palmer, McAtee, maybe Alvarez, who didn't play that much last year, maybe even Cancelo, Gomez, or how do we think? Because I think that in this one, I do think that the likes of McAtee and Oscar Bob will get a chance. Because I think that the closer you get to the start of the season, the more you need to be playing your main players in the preseason game. So I think in this first game, I do think if you do want to see McAtee and Oscar Bob play, these are the games to play them in, this first one.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd say Pep has told them that expect at least 45 minutes. I think the very first game you'll probably get, a different 11 each half. I watched this Yokohama team the other day. They played against Celtic. Celtic are also out in Japan doing a preseason tour. They play in that I think it's called the Nissan Stadium, and they're mid-season right now. Yokohama, like they're in the middle of their campaign, so they're sharp, they're fresh. They actually beat Celtic 6-4. It was like a cricket score. It was mad the amount of goals going in 6-4, but they're a good team. They're a good team. They're sharp. They're fit. They're athletic. So they're going to give us a bit of a test to shake off some of the rust. But with the young players, I think you could expect to see Oscar. I want to see Oscar Bob. I want to see James McAtee get at least 45 minutes each. Preferably starting. Give them the experience, give them the feeling of walking out and doing the kickoff and all that. So, yeah, man, I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on with everything. I think there'll be different plans set out for pretty well everybody in the squad. They all have their own individual requirements. As you won't want to overexhaust some of the players who played loads of football last season. You want to integrate some of the younger players and give them opportunity. So I'm just looking forward to it, man. I really like preseason.
This guy's probably going to start, and he needs to impress. You know what I mean? Rodri can't be playing 60 games a year. We'll run him into the ground. You know what? He's listened to us, bro, or me, because I'm always the one bang on about it. He came back to training pre-season a couple of days earlier than everyone else, which is great. He should have done that when he come back from the World Cup. But he's learned from his mistakes. And I don't know if you've seen his interviews. He's been doing a lot of interviews with BBC Radio Yorkshire and all that kind of stuff. And he's been really open about it. He's been sort of honest and that. And, there was stuff that he said maybe he was taken a little bit out of context. And then there was stuff that, he has been disappointed with. And clearly he agrees that he should have come back from the World Cup earlier, because he's now come back to pre-season earlier. So I think he sort of learnt on that. And, I think everyone wants Calvin Phillips to do well. This is a really good opportunity for him. I think sometimes people play down pre-season, but as fans, I know we'll look at the pre-season games and we'll look at Arsenal and the Community Shield and we'll be like, it's not that important. But as a fan, you still want to be seeing your team play well. You still want to be seeing individual players showing quality, because ultimately, this is the start of the season. This is pre-season. We are beginning now, and we want to see players show that they're ready for the season ahead. And so for me, I think that when Calvin Phillips plays on Sunday, I'd be absolutely stunned if he didn't play. I think he needs to have a good game to really give a little bit of confidence. Because imagine, right, we're doing a watch along on Sunday, yeah? Imagine Calvin Phillips has a great game. We'll all be coming away from it going, you know what? This is his year now. This is his year to kick on. You know what I mean? If he comes away and he gets injured or he's a bit shit or whatever, everyone will be like, doubts about this guy. So I think it's really important for him. Slightly different with the likes of McAtee, Bob, Palmer on that, because obviously they're younger players. They're not players that we're going to be relying on in terms of they're not second in line. You know what I mean? Like if Rodri gets injured, Phillips is next up. McAtee is going to be fourth choice. Bob's going to be third choice. So it's not as important. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Calvin Phillips play, actually. I'm actually more excited to see him play this year than last year, and I don't know why.
Because that first season syndrome is kind of out of the way. And I spoke a lot about at the end of last season how I think he'll just take everything he's learned from going from the demands of Leeds to Manchester City and hopefully take it into this season. And he's off to a good start, in terms of first impressions for the upcoming season. We're coming in early on that. But you're right about these preseason games for players like him. He's trying to set the tone for how he means to move forward with City and get into Pep's plans, that kind of thing. So he should be treating this like a competitive game. This for him should be like a Champions League final. He should be saying, I need to go and make a point. And, if you remember this time last year, Grealish kind of had that moment. The very first preseason game, whatever it was, I think Grealish kind of cooked. Maybe it was the Bayern Munich game in the end beside Haaland. And Grealish showed something where Grealish looks like he's found something new here. And he did kick on from there. I think Phillips is going to slam it. I'm quietly confident in him. I want them to do well. You always want players who seem like nice guys to do well, but being a nice guy, unfortunately, isn't enough. You need to go and do it in pitch. So
Mm.
we'll see, man. We'll see. I hope he does well. I really do, because it's, for Rodri's sake as well. Like we keep saying, he can't do 60 games a season. It ain't gonna run. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see.
100%. So that's on Sunday. We play Yokohama on Sunday, 11 o'clock UK time. We're doing a watch along, obviously, so make sure you join us for the watch along. Following that, we then got a game on Wednesday, the 26th, which is against Bayern Munich. So that is what, we'll have 2 days rest and then straight into Bayern Munich on the Wednesday. So I'd imagine, with it only being the second preseason game, you might see quite a different team to the one that plays on Sunday, because you're not going to play a full team on Sunday and then 3 days later, 2 days rest, play the same team. So I'd imagine we're going to see quite a different team. By the way, how good does that look? This Man City 1, Inter Milan 0. So yeah, Bayern Munich could be a great test. And remember, we still might see some academy players, because we played Bayern Munich last year and Wilson Esbrand played and did really, really well against Coleman. So let's see who gets given the go here. I'm expecting McAtee to be given a lot of game time in this preseason, bro, because the stuff that we're hearing, the fact that City apparently rejected a £30 million bid from a team, it sounds to me like City and Pep Guardiola have a lot of hope, a lot of faith in McAtee. And, you've got 4 games here, if you include the Arsenal game, that McAtee could potentially play in to show whether or not he's ready to play at this level. Big couple of weeks for McAtee, isn't it?
Huge, man. Huge. It's his kind of, it'll be his preseason, like when Jimmer Foden came on and marked Paul Pogba against Man United one summer, and people were kind of like, yeah, he actually showed something. He's got something about him, this kid, and he kicked on from there. So it's kind of one of those ones where there's individual narratives that we want to see, and we've heard spoken about. Calvin Phillips obviously is one, James McAtee is another, and then I want to see a good bit throughout this preseason of Phil Foden in midfield. I want to see him play in midfield, maybe 45 minutes against Bayern Munich will be good. Some time against Yokohama. See some of these things that we've spoken about and we've heard Pep speak about that he wants to see. I'd like to see how they look and see how they kind of unfold. So there's loads of things to keep an eye on, man. There's loads of things to keep an eye on this preseason. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream, by the way, if you've done so already. We need 8 people to hit the thumbs up button to get us to 100 likes. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel as well if you're new. And the link to help support the channel, become an Xtra Club member, is in the description. Big up to all the Xtra Club members in the chat. After Bayern Munich, we do have a couple more days there then. So that's on the 26th. We then play on the 30th, which is next Sunday. So 3 games in a week and a day, effectively. And we play Atletico Madrid. That looks like it's a 12 o'clock midday kickoff, that. And that's the final game before the Arsenal Community Shield game. Bit of a more tough game. Obviously, we played Atletico in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago. We know what they're about. Very difficult side. Will probably make City run, which is what you want in a pre-season game, innit? You know what I mean? You want to get those fitness levels up. And Atletico Madrid's not a bad team to play in that sort of situation. And quality sides, you said you've seen Yokohama. They're second currently in their league. And you said they look like a decent side. Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal. I like this pre-season, man. We're not playing nobodies. You know what I mean? We're playing good teams that's going to put a test on us. And, you're playing the runners-up in the Premier League, Arsenal in the Community Shield, the game before the Burnley game. So it's a really, really good test. And again, I would just repeat what I was saying before. This is a really, really important preseason for City. We want to get off to a good start. We don't want to be falling behind, especially with the Club World Cup, where teams pick up points and we will have games in hand. You don't really want that to happen. So it's important that we get off to a decent start. Then obviously Arsenal, we've not really spoken about the Arsenal game. That's on the 6th of August, Community Shield, 4 p.m. kickoff. Obviously, it's been moved. I'm like this with the Community Shield. Like, I'm not one of these people that says it's nothing. You know what I mean? I ain't one of these people that says it's a friendly. I don't treat it like as a proper trophy, but I do want to win it. Like, at the end of the day, there is a trophy there. And I know, like, it doesn't really mean much, but I still want to win it, mate. You know what I mean? And to beat Arsenal again, that'd be good. I don't want Arsenal to beat us, because I think that'll then give them a little bit of confidence of like, oh, we can beat City, even if it's just to the Community Shield,
No, even if they do beat us and they do take loads of confidence and they do something, that's cool with me, man. Because remember, Liverpool did that. They beat us and Haaland missed a sitter, and it was all Liverpool going to win the league and Nunes is going to outscore Haaland. Then Haaland gave that cheeky smile to the camera, and the rest is history, kind of thing. So I'm not too arsed about it. Yeah, obviously I'd like to win. I'd like to beat them. I'm not going. I'm not even arsed going to it. I do like it there at Wembley, but I'm not going to this one. But nah, I don't really care. It's just another preseason game, really, for me. I would like to see, though, like a strong team take to the pitch. Maybe the team that he's kind of thinking, right, this is the one I'm going to play in the first Premier League game, and start to get the shape in order and the tactics and that kind of thing. So we'll just have to see how that goes.
Yeah, and then we've got Burnley, first game of the season away, and then we've got the Super Cup against Seville. So we've got a lot of games. We've got a lot of games, and I'm glad that football is back, man. I'm absolutely buzzing about it. It's going to be sick. I can't wait for the game on Sunday. I'm really looking forward to it, man. And yeah, it's just important we get off to a good start. Like I said, I thought the pre-season last year, ironically, went on to do a treble, but pre-season last year wasn't great. You know what I mean? We didn't have a good pre-season. This year, it looks like a better pre-season. We're playing some really sick teams there as well. So by the time we go into that Burnley game, I think it's away as well, that first Burnley game. Yeah, it is away. You know what I mean? Against Vincent Company and that. We should be ready. We should be really ready for it. And it's important we get off to a good start. It really, really is, because I think the league is going to be a bit more competitive at the top than it was last year. I think Liverpool are going to be up there with us. I think Arsenal will probably still be up there with us. And who knows, maybe you'll get another random team that you didn't really expect. Maybe United will kick on. Maybe Newcastle could kick on. Maybe Spurs, you know what I mean? No European football. If Harry Kane stays, who knows? Postecoglou in that. Maybe Chelsea will have a remontada. You never really know. There's always a team that's up there that no one expected. So I do think that this year could be a bit more competitive. And as I say, don't really want to be getting back from that Saudi Arabian Club World Cup 10 points behind with a load of games in hand and playing a game every 3 days for the rest of the season. So I think it's vital that we get off to a good start, bro.
Yeah, all I want from this preseason is to give ourselves the best chance at a consistent start. We're usually very stop-starty kind of thing for the first couple months of the Premier League, aren't we? Like, we'll win a couple of games, then we'll lose or draw a game that we didn't expect to drop points in. So consistency for the first few months is probably, based off the back of what you said there, more important than it has been before because of that stop we're going to have in December. We really need to give ourselves the best fighting chance to make a proper title race out of whatever comes after Christmas. So it all starts genuinely. Your preparations for winning the league hopefully start this Sunday. You're setting the foundations for how you want to start your league campaign, and your Champions League group stage is coming up. There's a hell of a lot of football to be played, man. There's a hell of a lot of football coming up, and this is where you set down the foundations to prepare for that. So, we'll see how it goes, man. You're not doing an opposition fan view for Sunday, no? Get a Yokohama guy on.
Funny enough, I don't know any Yokohama fans in Manchester, bro. I'm not aware. You know what I mean? So
big club, Yokohama, man, big club.
I'm not. I don't doubt that. I sure they are. But yeah, I don't know if anyone knows a Yokohama fan. You know what I mean? Who can come on? Then yeah, I'm fully game. You know what I mean, to get them on. But yeah, I don't know any. Do you know any?
No.
All right. Well, what are you saying then? Yeah, I don't know actually. If anyone does know any channel on that, I'll happily do one, man. You know what I'm saying? It'll be decent. But yeah, look, there we go. It's going to be a good, man. I'm buzzing this season. He's back. I'm ready for this. I've had a break. I've seen a couple of people say in the comments though, bro, that they're enjoying the break and that they want the break to continue. I'm like, nah, not for me. I'm ready now.
I was enjoying the break. There was like a 3-week period there after the Champions League final where it was like a period of grace. I was kind of sitting there going, this is brilliant. We're the champions of everything. And there's no one can say anything. I'm chilling out. But then that urge starts to come back. Do you know what I mean? The juices start flowing again. You get that urge and that itch. You need to see the football. You need to see the football. My weekends are very boring right now. Do you know what I mean? My midweeks are boring. Even not being able to turn on a shitty, Burnley versus Fulham game, something like that would be nice. I need to see it, so I'm buzzing. I can't wait for it, man. I can't wait to see the lads on Sunday for the watch along.
Yeah, me too. A couple of people mentioning what's he called? Borges. Yeah, that deal is apparently meant to be very close, but not signed just yet. And the Gvardiol guys, what I'd say is if you want some more Gvardiol information, if you've not watched last night's Avengers show, which was a sick show, by the way, go and check that up. Because that was a good conversation. We had about half an hour conversation, all 5 of us, 6 of us lads did join in, about the Gvardiol situation. So if you're wanting an update on the Gvardiol situation, go check that one out, because like I said, it was a good watch. But yeah, we'll probably be back later on. In fact, I might have a Big Steve show coming later on. So turn on the notification bell, man, because there is a potential for a Big Steve show. If not, we'll be back later on or tomorrow or something. So yeah, there we go. Big up everyone. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream. Make sure you drop a like on it. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. And guys, we'll see you in the next one. See you later.